commands the sea and defies the wind. Instilling fear among its prey, feels not for itself. Ahead the sea lies calm.
And good evening, afternoon, morning, whatever time of day that you're viewing this video. So I want to, hold on. Got a microphone hum there, drive me nuts. So I wanted to do a breakdown because I've done a couple videos on a school bond issue, and I let my emotions get the best of me and I start ranting. So I want to do this 5-10 minute video, break everything down very quickly for you on what is going on with the bond, the proposed bond issue here at the Gasconade County R-2 School District. So to start off with, it's a $15 million bond. Now, I want to show you, I'm going to pull this up here, and I will show you exactly what I have here as far as previous bond issues for the school. So if you go to the Missouri State Auditor's site, you can find all the bond issues that Gasconade County's taken. I think it let me go, 1999 to 2023. So you can see the first one here is down in at June 6th of 2003 was $3.45 million. Now, we still have a bond out for, now see, where did it go? Because there's some missing here. Let me refresh the page, because there was more, and I'll have to redo the search here. Let me do that real quick. Oh, come on, stop going away. All right, whatever. I'll just hit search. All right, so we'll just go from 2005 to present. Okay. So, okay, I'm sorry. 2005 was, you can see, 10 million, a 6.145 million, and a 4 million. Now that at the time was when they were building the new elementary school. Okay, so that's all those bonds. Let's take a look at the payment structure on these bonds. So it looks like the last payment will be for $4.7 million on March the 1st of 2025. Okay? And there's a reason I'm going to show you these, but, you know, I want you to be, I want to show you these before I get to the numbers. Okay, so this one is from 2007. And it looks like the last payment will be $385,000 on March the 1st, 2024, right? So we got all those. I will pull up the other ones from 2005 here. Okay, this is, let me see, did I do this one yet? 3/01/2018 was the last payment for this one of $800,000, okay? Got that one. And I think, did I do the $4 million yet? I don't remember. 2013 was the last payment on that one. Okay, so that's the 2005 bond issues. So it looks like 2025 is when the bonds are done being paid off. So what we're being told is that if we vote no, your tax rate will not go down, say, next year. They're saying 2033. But I'm trying to figure out where they're getting that number from, because I don't see any bonds that would run out to 2033. It looks like the last payment is 2025 for one of the bond issues. So that one's throwing me for a loop, needless to say, because I don't understand how they're coming up with 2033 and not 2025, or, you know, like 2026, let's say. Why is that doing that? I'm showing my own screen. Let me get off of there. But, you know, I'm trying to figure this out because it's not making sense to me. But, again, the audio I played the other night showed, you know, she stated that even if we voted it down, our tax levy would not go down to 2033. But as you can see, the last payment is 2025 for all the debt that they still have from 2005, the 2005 bond issue. So maybe somebody can break this down for me because I'm not picking up what they're putting down as far as this tax goes. And, you know, I've tried to find a bond interest calculator, and everything that is every bond calculator that I find is, you know, bonds that you would buy, like savings bonds or other types of bonds. I can't find a bond interest calculator that would tell me. Now, someone did give me a number that at $15 million bond, this $15 million bond, by the time it was done, would actually cost $22 million. It's about $7.5 million of interest, okay? So you're talking $22.5 million by the time this bond is paid off at an interest rate of 4.5%, and they make one payment a year, it looks like, right? If we go back and I look at one of these, it looks like once a year. Yeah, so the one of the ones from 2005, the $4 million bond, from 2007 to 2013. Let me pull this up so you can see this. So we see 500,000, 600,000, 650,000, and the last payment is 550,000. So we see that is, you know, again, one payment per year on the school bonds. Again, start out at 15 million, and it goes to 20. By the time it's done, it's 22.5 million. But they're telling us there's still 5 million left from a previous bond. So you end up with $27.5 million plus the interest that's on there, unless the interest is dropped off of that one. They might have already paid the interest off, and now they just have the $5 million left. So that's $27.5 million by the time it's done, if there's no interest left on the $5 million. If the interest is paid off, and you get a new bond of $15 million, and you get interest at $7.5 million, you're talking $22.5 million plus the $5 million, $27.5 million. They're saying will be stretched out to 2044. And again, I don't understand why they're saying it will be 2033 before our tax levy would fall off and our tax rate would drop on our, you know, valuation on our property. So that's eluding me a little bit. I'm not picking up what they're putting down here. I feel like we're being misled, if you know what I mean. You know, you're talking about probably, say if you have a $125,000 house and a $20,000 car, okay? You're talking about $200 a year. Now, I know what's going to be said. I know a lot of people are going to say, well, it's only $200 a year. The thing we have to take into consideration here, folks, is the fact that with the market the way it is, and how many banks have shut down now? 3 or 4 banks. We could see a run on banks, all these things. And the people making these decisions are they're not taking that into consideration. The economy is far from even leveling out. Okay? We have inflation, you know, the economists that you can count on that don't lie to you are saying 10 to 15, possibly 20 years to get out of what we're in now, which would be possibly the entire length of this bond issue, that people are under more financial stress because of the market, because of now runs on banks, rampant inflation, the government's going to continue spending money. If banks continue to fail, there's going to be a bailout. That's going to be more printing of money, more devaluation of the currency, and possibly inflation going up more. So I have a problem personally with a continuing tax levy, because this isn't a horizontal tax; it's a vertical tax. So yeah, technically your taxes don't go up, but they also don't come down. So that 69 cents per $100 valuation is going to continue for till 2044 if this bond passes, if this bond issue passes. And again, I know a lot of people are going to say $200 isn't a whole lot. But in this economy that we're in right now, that's going to continue for quite a while, because none of this stuff gets fixed, like that. The feds are going to raise interest rates. They're going to try to basically bring in a recession to bring inflation down. Now, we get in a recession where your dollar's worth even less and you possibly have people losing jobs, things like that. Do we really want to keep a tax on the citizens of this school district for another 21 years for a performing arts center? I'm just posing this question, folks. I know that, this is not a popular thing to say, and I understand that. I get that. When we talk about schools, people get, and a lot of areas, not just this community, but a lot of communities, you want to be seen as someone who supports your school district. And I understand that. You want your kids to succeed. But I think we're being deceived. I think we're being misled on this whole thing. And as a taxpayer, you and I are both, if you're watching this, more than likely you're a taxpayer, just like I am. I would think that you would want somebody who's wanting to spend $15 million of your money, that you're going to want the unadulterated truth. You're not going to want to be misled. You're not going to be lied to, deceived on how much longer, on this vertical tax, that the tax, the tax levy we're under now wouldn't fall off for another 10 years. When the bonds that are still now, the bond would be paid off in 2 years. And one's already been paid off this year. So you got one left for 2 more years of payments. Then our tax levy should go down, but they're saying 10 years out. Also keep in mind, actually, let me pull up the article so no one thinks I'm pulling their leg. Because this was in the local paper. And I should have brought this up before, but I didn't. Because this should be... There was a... Okay, this is November. There was an article from May of last year. And I don't see it right now, which is weird. I'll just put in bond issue here. There was an article from 2022 of like May last year where there was, they had a gentleman from some kind of outfit in Springfield that says, "Oh, you're looking great." I bet this is it right here. Well, I don't see it. I can't. I'm trying to find the name of the establishment or business that said, "Oh, we've got you guys are great on your, debt. You can do this." And now it wants me to subscribe, so I can't see it anymore. But anyway, he said, "Hey, if you guys are doing great, don't ask for more than $14 million, and then you can come and revisit in 4 or 5 years." So what he was advising them was take out $14 million now, and in 4 to 5 years, come back and go for more money. That's a little concerning, too, because of the current state of the economy. Because here's the way it's been explained to me. Here's the way it's been laid out for me. So if they would build this performing arts center, the valuation of the school would go up because they're allowed to, I think, 50% or something of the valuation of the school. That's how much bond money they can apply for, by vote of the people of the school district. So if they get the performing arts center, the valuation on the school goes up, right? Then they would be able to swing around in 4 or 5 years and go for another bond. Now, who knows how much that would be? He told them not to go over $14 million. They're going $15 million. But you see what I'm getting at here. It could be, there's a possibility, folks, in 4 to 5 years, that they would ask for another maybe million, maybe 4 million, maybe 5 million. And this is something that in at this time and the way the economy is and how badly people are hurting right now at the grocery store, the gas station, what have you. I don't think this is the right time for a bond issue. I think things need to settle down. I think we're going to have to do without a performing arts center. Now, if they would take out a much smaller bond and say they wanted to add a hallway from the school to the ag building that would connect them for the safety and security and fix gym floors or do some renovations, that might not be so bad. $15 million, and I think 10 to 12 of that just goes to the Performing Arts Center. So are they going to have enough money to do all the things on this list of the projects they have? I'm gonna say probably not, which is why they would probably come back and revisit this in 4 to 5 years. And so it's food for thought, folks. I don't like, as a taxpayer, to be misled. I don't like to be deceived. I don't like to be lied to. I want the voters to be educated. Now, I'm not going to come on here and demand that you vote a certain way, but I would ask that you think very carefully before you give it a yes vote. Think about the people around you that you know. Think about the people who are on fixed incomes, Social Security, disability, whatever. If they have a vehicle, if they have a house, if they have whatever, they're getting valuated on that. Their property valuations are higher. All of ours is higher. Can they afford this? It's not, when it comes down to it, folks, it's not just about you and me, right? It's not just about you and me. At this time, we have to think about our neighbors and a family and friends in this area who might already be struggling and could use a little tax relief as far as tax levy. Instead of that, and we continue their tax debt, we continue to tax them at this vertical rate for another 21 years. And I don't think that's the right way to go about it. Not at this time. Again, I don't mind the small incremental things. Sometimes they need buses or they need to replace roofs, or like I said, the gym floors are apparently shot or the bleachers aren't working. Smaller projects like that I don't have as much trouble with. But when you talk $15 million, then I do have a little bit of issue with that. So with that being said, again, I wanted to keep this as short as possible. Some things for you to chew on and to digest, and think very carefully before you vote, however you're going to vote on the school bond issue. But again, please keep in mind the people around you who are struggling in this economy now, and ask yourself, do you want to keep the tax burden on those people when we don't know how things are going to work out with the economy? And you need to ask more questions and make sure that you are not being deceived by the school board, by people who want to that want to do this and are definitely not considering the burden that they're putting people under. Because as you could see when I showed you all those tax bond issues in the last 23 years, there were several of them. And I think at some point we have to start telling people, we have to tell anybody, any agency of government, school, whatever, they're going to have to tighten their belts at some point. So I'm gonna end the video now. I just wanted to, again, put these points out in front of you and let you think on them, digest them, and then again, think about your neighbors, think about your friends and family who may be struggling at this time in this crap economy that we've got going on right now, and think if you really want to keep their tax burden going for another 21 years. This isn't about not wanting kids to succeed and all these things, but again, a performing arts center is not going to make test scores higher. Okay, and things of that nature. That is not going to improve our test scores. It is not going to improve our proficiency in math and science and other things. That money's not going to do that. And I'd rather see kids actually learning skills and the things they need to succeed when they get out of school rather than funding a performing arts center, but that's just me. But anyway, folks, thanks for tuning in for this short video. I will be producing a few more of these as time goes on and we learn more things about this issue, and I will keep you up to date. So with that, have a great evening, everyone, and thanks for tuning in.